viewers, it's Jade and it's time for my creative journal flip for the month of June. So let's go ahead and jump into it. This was my June cover spread. I don't know what made me think of a lemonade here, but yeah, I was feeling it and it's hot and lemonade is just the bomb.com. So yeah, this is what I did for the cover spread for June. This was June 4th, and unfortunately we had to put my dog down because she was sick and in pain, and we didn't want to see her go through that any longer. So that's what happened that day, and I'm not going to continue talking about it because I'm going to start crying if I do. So, this day, June 9th, even though this came out June 7th, there's this documentary on Netflix called The Black Godfather. And it's about this man. His name is Clarence Avant. And basically, he came from, as a matter of fact, he came from like a small podunk town in North Carolina. Came from nothing. And somehow became this guru in the entertainment industry. And not just, it didn't just stop there. He ended up in the political industry. It's like he's a renaissance man, a jack of all trades. I don't even know what to call him because he has touched so many people's lives and helped so many people out. And I'd never ever heard of this man before now. And what I loved about him is that he created the life that he wanted for himself. And in the process helped so many other people. Like, his name is a standard in the industry, in the political arena, And there was this one part, and he was saying, that's why I put this down here, where I lettered, I don't have problems, I have friends. Because he said that twice in the documentary, because something happened. Like, everybody loved this guy. Everybody loves this guy. And he had, I think, bought this record store or something. Something was going on. Anyway, the record store tanked, and then, like, he ended up owing all this money, and he told somebody about it, and they helped him out, and then somebody else helped him out, and then and he was like, see, I don't have problems, I have friends. And he got right back on his feet and got right back to doing what he was doing and helping out other people. It was so inspiring. And at the end of it, I'm like in tears because he's getting his Hollywood Walk of Fame. And this is some man I've never even heard of a day in my life. So it was really inspiring. I loved it. So if you guys have not watched that documentary, go check it out. Let's see. June 11th, I went to go see Aladdin. Oh my God, talk about a blast from the past. I think they did an excellent job with this live action remake of Aladdin. Will Smith was wonderful as Genie. I think that he really did Robin Williams' memory justice while also putting his own flavor and spin on Genie, and it was perfect. I loved it. So of course, you guys know I like to put my little poster there. And then for the ticket, I don't know why I decided to get so creative, but I made this little pocket thing out of vellum and added a tab here, and so I could just slip my ticket stuff in there and the receipt. So that's what I did there. Was just like nostalgic. And then when they started singing, I messed up right there. It makes me mad that it ruins, well, it didn't ruin it, but it just anyway, my favorite part of the movie of Aladdin has always been when he's like, do you trust me? The second time, and she realizes who he is from how he says it and how he like bends down whatever. But anyway, and then they got on the magic carpet and did a whole, and I legit like had chills throughout a whole new world. It was crazy. I was like, okay, I feel like I'm 10 years old again, but it was wonderful, beautiful. I can't wait till the DVD comes out. So this is the next day, not the next day, a few days after And I just wrote until we meet again at the Rainbow Bridge. We picked up, when we had to put our dog down, we opted to have her cremated. So this was the day we went to pick up her remains. And there's they sent along with it a poem called The Rainbow Bridge. I'm not gonna read it because again I will start crying if I read it. So if you're interested in what it says, just Google it. They have many different things where you can read it. So yeah, so I just stuck her picture there and put the poem here of the Rainbow Bridge. And this day was Father's Day. Father's Day to me is not the same as it used to be. Just because my dad has passed on and my grandfather has passed on, and it kind of used to be like a big to-do, celebrating. My dad and my granddaddy would come by, or we'd go, see him or whatever. But as of now, the only father that's really in my life is my brother, and he's more of a would just rather be alone for the day type of person than celebrating. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of not the same type of thing. So he did come by, and we gave him his like cards and things like that, and he left and went home to do what he was gonna do. Here I have the YouTube because I was working on a journal with me video to put up, and that was pretty much it for that day. I think I had been reading my book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Love that book and decided to go ahead and get the companion guided meditations to go with that. So yeah, not too much going on. Also, I was watching Double Shot of Love with the Jersey Shore kids, Vinny and Paulie. He's my favorite because he is a clown. He's hilarious. And it's funny, I call them kids. They're actually around closer to my age. So, yeah. Anywho, that's pretty much what's going on that day. The next day, this was the 17th. Yeah, this was June 17th. And this was my first kidney appointment near where I live. As you guys know, if you're here regularly, I had been having to travel back and forth to Wake, which is about an hour and a half away, each, of course, going both ways. And that, well, I did it, and it was necessary, and that it was a pain in the ass. Like, who wants to travel an hour and a half to go to a doctor's appointment that usually lasted no longer than an hour and a half, and it just, ugh. Anyway, so they finally transferred me back to my local kidney doctors, and I only have to go to them, I only have to go to Wake annually now. So when my annual comes up in November, I'll have to go back and check out with them again. But then from now on, I'll be able to just come to my local people, which was great. And the best thing was, first of all, I didn't have to go to the main hospital. It's like around the corner from the main hospital, because the main hospital is having construction right now, and on a normal day it can be a zoo over there. So with construction going on, I don't even want to know what's happening at the main hospital. So I was glad of that. Got in or whatever. I don't think I waited a minute to be called back into the room. Me and the nurse were just laughing it up. And then the doctor came in. It was somebody I knew and was familiar with, and he's really nice. And that was a quick visit. I mean, it was a quick visit, and he was like, you don't have to come back for like 3 months. So I was like, this is thebomb.com. I'm here for this. So yeah, it was a good day, and I just feel like I'm starting to get my life back from all of this kidney stuff. Anyway, so that's pretty much what happened on this day. And then on the 20th, I was on a hunt for some weights because I want to start lifting weights and kind of sculpting my body into the way that I want it to look. Not that it's terrible the way it looks now, but I just want to be stronger. I want to feel like I did before all of this with my kidneys and all that kind of stuff started happening when I was younger and teenagery, or early to mid 20ish, whatever. I felt good. So, um, and later on that day, I had been contemplating a situation, and I just had to remind myself that um, you are in Barbados. Now, most people will not know what that means. However, if you study or have read or have listened to any Neville Goddard, you will understand. Neville was taught by a teacher. His name was Abdullah, and he was trying to teach him how to manifest what he wanted. Neville wanted to go home to his home in Barbados, but he didn't have a penny on him. He didn't have any money, and when he told Abdullah what he wanted, Abdullah was like, "You are in Barbados." And then whenever Neville would, it was taking a while for it to happen. Whenever Neville would come back to him and want to broach the subject of it, Abdullah wasn't having it. He was like, "Look, you are in Look, I can't even talk. He was like, you are in Barbados and you went first class." And he was like, literally slammed the door on him. Like, he was not entertaining Neville's mess. And eventually, about maybe a month or so or two, something, I can't remember exactly how long it was, he got a letter from his brother saying, "The whole family's never been together. This Christmas I want it to happen. Here's some money. Get you a ticket. Come on home." Boom. So anyway, I have to remind myself sometimes you are in Barbados. Forget what the outside world is looking like. You have to deny your senses sometimes and just go with it. So anyway, I probably confused the hell out of y'all, but whatever. Let's see. Oh, okay, guys. I don't know if I've talked about this show on this channel before or not, but June 21st, watch this show. Okay, maybe not everybody watch this show, but if you're into like I can't tell you what if I say too much, I'll reveal kind of what the plot is about, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. But this is a good show. Okay, this was season 2 that came out on. It's called Dark on Netflix, and it's actually filmed. I don't know if it's filmed in Germany, but I would imagine so because the actors. It's a German show, and you can tell because you know how they voice over with English? They do that. You remember in the Power Rangers, the villain, how her mouth never matched what was being said? That's kind of what's going on here, except it's not as pronounced, and you get used to it very, very quickly. But it's about this small town of Winden, and these kids, these events start happening where these 2 boys go missing, and basically it's a repeat of things that happened in the past. And what you realize eventually is that everything somehow is connected. These kids, these teenagers are caught up in the middle of these shenanigans and these events going on, and then the father of one of the kids that goes missing actually happens to, back in the past, his brother was one of the ones that went missing, and he was never found. So he's like basically losing his mind trying to find his kid, thinking he's never gonna see him. It's so good, guys, and it's really mysterious. And then like season 1, you're like, oh wow, and then season 2, you're like, oh wow, and you realize how everything is connected. It's just good. I'm gonna ramble because I don't know how to tell you how good this show is without like revealing the major plot of it, and I don't want to do that. So anyways, if you have time, go check out Dark. People like to liken this show to Stranger Things. It's not like Stranger Things at all. So don't listen to people when they say that. That's not the truth. It is not like Stranger Things. Besides the fact that it's a wonderful show. It's like a really good show. That's it. On the 27th, let's see what I was into. I think I was catching, this is my catch-up day on, like, entertainment and stuff. I have been, you guys know I'm a reader. I read something every day. With everything going on and other stuff that I've been doing, I haven't been reading as often or as many books as I would like. but I still do read every day. So this day I was just kind of catching up, and I actually managed to finish my fiction book. And I have been reading a whole lot of self-development books, and I just kind of wanted a break from that. And so I decided that what I'm gonna do is, or at least I'm gonna try to stick to this, is read like a self-development book and then go back to a fiction book, and then just kind of switch off like that, so I'm not getting bored with either, although I can never be bored with fiction. So yeah. So basically that's what I was doing. I finished my fiction book, and then I started You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero that day. I've actually finished it since and mailed it off to some girl that was like, she wanted to buy it and hadn't gotten around to it yet. Jen Sincero's You Are a Badass. It's a good book. I feel like some of the books I've read previously, I feel like it's a watered down version of things that I've already read. So even though it's a good book, it didn't impact me as much as I thought it would. Just because I've read things very similar to it that had way more detail. So yeah, but if you're thinking about getting it, and it's still a good, I would call it a good jumping off point. So yeah. And then also I got to catch up on my show, Being Mary Jane. I hadn't watched it. I thought I had watched all of season 4, and I knew that the movie finale came out in April, and I hadn't seen it. So I was like, let me go ahead and watch that and knock that out of the way. So that show is done. Realized when I went into it to watch it that there was a whole other half of season 4 that I missed. Like, how did I miss that? Excuse me. And so yeah, I had fun catching up, watching the rest of season 4. The movie, while I agree with a lot of people that it was rushed, and they really should have done a season 5 to pretty much wrap up her story, because it's such a nuanced character. They didn't do that, so you just kind of had to go with what they did. But I personally like the ending, because she ended up with who I wanted her to end up with, and she basically got her fairy tale. That's what she wanted all along. So hey, glad somebody got what they wanted. And so I just basically wrote down her last quote of the show, which was "Let go and let love," and then the rest of it, she said, because the second you get out of your own way and stop orchestrating, it just happens. The moment you stop saying me and without thinking start saying us, that's the moment you're finally able to allow the love you want in. So yeah, really like the way they, well, not really, well, I like the way they wrapped this show up. But you know, like I said, they could have done a whole season 5 to wrap it up. It probably would have been better that way. Anywho, fun fact, and I think I told you guys in my, if you watched it, journal with me for this page, that the guy that plays her brother PJ, I went to college with him. His name is BJ Britt, and yeah, he was really cool, really sweet guy. I called him Smiling BJ because every time I saw him, he had this big grin on his face, like, "Hey Jay, what's up?" Da, 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 or whatever. Really nice guy, and he was always very, very positive. Like, I've never seen him be negative towards anything or anybody. So it's nice to see him doing his thing in Hollywood, and you know, doing what he wanted to do when he was in school. So that's cool, and that's it for this page. And then let's see, I think lastly, yeah, I just put this here because this day Ed Sheeran released his song Beautiful People featuring Khalid. I think that's how you say his name. And it was like over in the night that it happened, so it was like early morning, and I discovered it, and I was like, oh my god, obsessed with it. I had this on repeat. If you guys have not listened to his new number 6 collaborations album, listen to it now. Like it oh my god, I love it. Anyway, I'm not gonna keep gushing, but check it out. Anyway, that is it for this journal flip. If you have any comments or questions about anything, leave those below. If you're new here and you enjoy my content, why don't you give a subscribe and hit the bell icon to get the notifications of when I post. And I will check you all out in the next video. I hope all is well. Talk to you later. Bye, guys.